They come from all walks of life to compete. Never settling, continuously pushing the limits of RC racing. These elite drivers have all won their fair amount of accolades. They've all got skill. They've all got trophies. Now, they've set their sights on something they all want even more: some cold, hard cash. Here at the MidAmerica Outdoors Complex, in the heart of America, over 40 drivers compete in a new format, on a brand new track, for the chance to take home some cool new hardware. And with $30,000 on the line, these RC racers will have more than just bragging rights on their competition. Established veterans, newcomers with dreams, families from all over the country have come to kick up some dirt, and we're here to bring you all the action. From Jay, Oklahoma, this is RC Racing at Visions Off-Road, presented by A-Main Hobbies. Beautiful shot there of the American flag here at MidAmerica Outdoors. We're in Jay, Oklahoma, just outside of Tulsa. Welcome to the RC Racing at Visions Off-Road, presented by A-Main Hobbies. We want to thank our sponsors, by the way, including A-Main, massive part of what we are doing here, ProTech RC, J Concepts, and VP Racing Fuel. Special thanks to all of those sponsors for helping us do what we do out here. Hope you enjoy the racing action. We've had a busy day so far, exciting day for sure. It is qualifying day, go fast day, if you will. Time to put it all together. You got to make it count now, because it parlays itself right into the A-Mains come tomorrow. Mike Garrison sitting alongside Scotty Ernst with us as well, our pit reporter. And we are about to start our third and final qualifying session. Some warm-up laps here for the open Nitro buggy category. We've had a couple of people already pick up a $1,000 check, and they have been invited into the back of the Invitational class, where they will compete tomorrow.
Yeah, Ken, we've seen some fantastic racing so far. All three. Invite class, and Tyler Hook's doing the exact same thing. We'll see who can do it here in round 3. These drivers all getting set to go here. Michalesco following him around the track as their warm-up, minute 30 left in their warm-up session here. Blake Everett on the line here for this one as well. Not to mention Roxbury, Brewer, Hill, Chapman, Walker, Womack, and Remington. It's anybody's race. This is one of our first of 2 heats for our Open Nitro Buggy class. Again, the overall for the round top qualifier getting $1,000 and going to the invite class. And then the next driver in line for that top qualifying spot also will go to make a 15-car invite field tomorrow. Katie Roxbury working her way around. She was a strong contender in round 1 and 2. And, of course, the pit girl for Jared Wiggins doing a fantastic job, as Jared put in a phenomenal run there in that last round of the invite class. Finished up in the number 2 spot. There you see Jared returning the favor, as he is now pitting for Katie.
It looks like one of the mechanics down there having a little bit of trouble as well.
I think what was going on there is it looks like maybe they put a new clutch in that car, and by holding the car down and giving it some gas, they're burning that clutch in and burning off the loose oil and stuff so it doesn't slip as much, and getting it fired up, ready to go.
Yeah, good to know. Pretty cool, too. You can see him work the throttle there on that car directly in front of the camera, and you can see the tires grow whenever they do that. It will sling those tires are so soft that they will actually grow whenever they stand on the throttle like that, if you will, or pull on the throttle. I could also see that changing ride height for the cars as well. I mean, it wants to sling the tire right off the wheel.
I was going to say, knock on wood for these drivers so far. We haven't seen it yet, but a tire to actually come blown off the wheel is not that uncommon. So we haven't seen it yet here this weekend, but I'm sure at some point it's bound to happen.
And clearly you need to be nimble if you're going to be a corner worker, because once in a while you've got to jump up as the cars go under. Fun to watch for sure.
Well, these drivers off and underway here for Open Nitro Buggy Heat number 1. We'll let these drivers get a few laps in, and we'll see how they sort themselves out. Who is going to come out on top here for round number 3? Looking for that early TQ spot in this heat. Scott Brewer out front leading the way. 1 lap into this one, we're following Katie Roxbury right now. She's doing a fantastic job sitting in that number 3 spot right there behind Graham Hill. Remember, Graham Hill in round 1 of this heat was your winner.
Yeah, Graham had a good effort there, and he jumps right up to the top. Katie Roxbury says, oh, hold on there. I want some of that. So she jumped up to the top now, and we're off and running here. 9 minutes left inside of this qualifying session here, this group. This is the 3rd and final session here, so if you're going to get it done, this is your last chance.
Yeah, Katie's in a perfect position right now here in this one. She's clear of traffic. She's going to have at least a few minutes of a clear track here in this one to just really put the focus down and put some good laps in.
Of course, it's the overall number 1 qualifier for the Open Nitro Buggy category that will receive the check for $1,000 and the right to bump up into the back of the Invitational category. I say the back, just up into it. Oh! A little stunt driving right there, and some company to go along with it.
It looks like Graham Hill with that mistake is going to take over the number 1 spot here. Mikulesko, a round 2 winner here in this heat. In the number 2 spot, Roxbury will drop back to 3rd, Everett in 4th, and Scott Brewer, I believe that was who followed her off the track. Here's a Visions instant replay here. Take a look. Tumbling off the side of the track. Luckily, she landed back on her wheels, was quick to get the car back going.
Yeah, a little bit of a tank slapper there, right? I mean, over-rotated, corrected it, and whenever she corrected it, it just sent her off the jump in the wrong direction.
Back to the infield once again she goes here in this one. 7:45 left to go for these drivers. Again, they just laid down a considerable amount of water before the start of this race, and I was getting ready to say I see no signs of it anywhere on this racetrack.
Yeah, we were just out there. Somebody looked at the weather. It is 97 degrees out there. And my guess is if you're out there directly in the sun, it's in excess of 100. But to say that it's hot is putting it mildly, which of course affects everything. Certainly the track, the cars. Stuffed the nose there and rolled that one over. Corner worker on it immediately.
Yeah, I think with temps like this and the humidity out there, any shot of somebody going 10 minutes is out of the question here for this weekend. So we're going to see a lot of pit stops, and that'll spice things up as well.
Looking at Graham Hill now, who's sitting atop the board as we speak. A pace of 27:10.17.
Well, Graham doing a good job working his way around. He's wearing many hats this weekend. Obviously, he's a racer on the track right now, but he's also the mechanic for Jared Tebow and the Techno RC tent. So here he comes in for fuel. He is in and on the pit lane wall, getting topped off there. And he's back out again. He was your round 1 heat winner for this group. He's trying to do it again here in round number 3.
And see if he can put enough time on the board to keep himself on top of the pile after this second group competes as well inside of the category. Nice job there. It looks like it might be a little bit looser out there. You see these cars kind of skating through the turns. Hey! He was hoping he'd skate through and instead flipped through.
It looks like that, like you say, that main line has a little bit of grip. But if you step an inch outside of that, you are in for a wild ride. Graham doing a good job here, trying to run some consistent laps. Katie Roxbury, though, taking over the number 1 spot here in this one.
Yeah, Graham Hill losing a lap, is on a 27-lap pace. Clearly both of them now in the 26s. Scott Brewer and Blake Everett in the 25 range. And now Katie Roxbury drops to the 25 range. Graham Hill back up to the top.
Some close racing here in all of our heats today. And this just goes to show it on this style of track, it's anybody's race. There you see it looks like, I believe, Scott Brewer coming out of pit lane there. Looks like Graham had an 8.5-second pit stop. Will Walker showing a 2.8-second pit stop. I got a feeling maybe Will overshot the front straight, jumped into pit lane, and jumped right back out without getting any fuel. For that one.
Well, they have to go with you on that one. Good catch, by the way.
And there you see down there on the right-hand screen, we talked about everybody helping everybody. And there is our invite round 2 top qualifier, Ryan Lutz. He is standing there, now has switched roles, and he is pitting for one of these drivers out there on the racetrack.
Trevor Mikulesko with a quick pit stop at 5.9 seconds. Nice effort there for those guys.
And we're looking at Graham Hill here, your race leader. He's got a 7-second lead over Katie Roxbury in the number 2 spot. Mikulesko in the number 3 spot. Walker, Everett, Brewer, Womack, Remington, and Chapman.
Oh, man. Goes for a tumble. Got lucky right there. Back on all fours. Picks the throttle right back up and gets after it.
Yeah, Graham doing a good job here this weekend. Trying to put another heat race win.
A couple of cars off the track down there. Right in front of him. Managed to get out of the way. It looked like he did have to check up a little bit, but will still be able to keep up this momentum. Hopefully keep his pace up as well. Once again, this timed event, total of 10 minutes long. Wow, dancing that thing.
I don't think that started out on purpose, but he thought quick there, made the right moves, turned the wheels the right way to bring that thing back around.
I went in doubt gas on it as we focus in on Blake Everett now. Blake Everett currently in the 4th position, 25:10.23 to get the third, 25:10.14. So, and actually now just went at 25:10.19. So tighten that up a little bit and then just lost it all.
Yeah, and he's in a tough spot right now because not only is he battling on the clock with Trevor Mikulesko, that was Mikulesko right there ahead of him on the track. So it puts a little extra pressure on you, and I can tell he was trying to push a little bit, just pushed a little too hard, made a mistake. But Blake going to be trying to work his way back up towards the front here in this one.
Put together some decent corners as he hits the step up there one more time. A couple of cars right in front of him now. He's got to try to navigate.
Oh!
Full contact for sure.
Uh-oh.
And that's when the frustration sits in.
I don't know who's going to be more frustrated out of that situation right there, Blake or the corner marshal standing up there in the corner that just got peppered with a face full of dust out of that one. Well, 2 minutes left to go here in this one. Graham Hill trying to stretch out his lead, 8.5 seconds over Katie Roxbury in the number 2 spot. Mikulesko in that 3 spot. Everett in the 4. Scott Brewer rounding out your top 5. Walker, Womack, Remington, and Chapman. Chapman not out there here in this one.
Sure. Yes, it sounded like my mic dropped out right there. Something to be cognizant of.
Yeah, not sure exactly what happened there for Chapman not to be able to get out there. Missing that final chance to get up in the invite class. However, we hopefully will see Chapman back out for tomorrow's Open Nitro Buggy Mains.
On the throttle there as we take a look at Katie Roxbury here at the end of this session with about a minute and a half left. A little less than a minute and a half.
Oh. Katie bumping that inside tube there, coming up a little bit short, but she drove right out of it.
Currently in second. 25:10.02, 25 lap 10.02, 26:10.16 for Graham Rahal. Still ripping them out. Katie doing a nice job here as well.
Yeah, Mikulesko turned to the fastest lap of this race. The only driver to get down the 22nd lap range, 21-second lap range, I should say, 21.9. Oh, a couple drivers getting tangled up there, getting spun around. They're trying to work it out now, climbing up that step up.
Yeah, right at the very end of the session, too, to add to the frustration.
If you get caught on the face of the step up, it reminds me a little bit of watching over the hill there at the Ultra 4 hill climb racing and kind of those guys trying to climb those big hills. That's what these RC cars are trying to do, trying to get up that as well. 20 seconds left to go here in this one. Graham Hill looking for a heat race win, looking to set the early time, fast time here in round 3 of Open Nitro Buggy. A fast group of guys coming up next. Of course, as we mentioned, Feelong Win, your top qualifier for Open Nitro Buggy in round 1, took $1,000 and headed to the invite. Round 2, it was Tyler Hooks, and round 3, well, we've got one more heat to go before we can find out who that driver's going to be.
Winding this first group up, the time, the clock has run down. Final laps being completed here.
There you see Graham Hill working his way through the infield. Up and over the step up he goes. Dropping back down.
Should be his last lap here for sure. Going to get across the stripe. It is complete. Graham Hill rolls in at a 26-10-13, 26-10-23 right behind him for Katie Roxbury. Nice job. Trevor Michalesco, looks like Michalesco, I'm sorry about that. Michalesco will drop to fourth. Blake Everett bumps up to third, and as soon as I say that, Trevor bumps back up to third, and Blake Everett back to fourth.
Yeah, another good run there for Graham Hill, putting it in. He a pretty solid time. As you mentioned, the track, I think, looks a little slicker, a little looser this round than it did the previous round. So times may not be quite as fast this round and this go-around.
Yeah, and of course, as we show you highlights here, this group determined by their seating sessions that happened 1 day ago. So in theory, the next group out here, the cars should be just a little bit quicker. They try to group them up based on their seating session times. So we'll see what the second group has to say about that. That is where our winner has come out of in the first two qualifying sessions. And once again, we'll get it over there to the driver's area and Scotty Ernst.
All right, thank you very much, Ken. Graham Hill, solid run, smooth, steady, consistent. That was very good.
Thank you. Yeah, that's kind of just been the name of the game all day for me, is just try to put in good, consistent runs, see where I end up. A lot of fast little kids out here, trying to do it and throw it in the A and get that $1,000. So I think, I don't necessarily have their speed, but consistency is what I got, so I'll just see where I stack up.
We've interviewed you a couple times, but his main focus is not his driving here. This is the pitman mechanic for Jared Tebow. You guys have been a combination for years. Tell us what it feels like to pit for a world champion.
Man, it's pretty unreal. Just every race is a new learning experience, and just super grateful to have the opportunity from Jared, Techno, and all the other sponsors that allow me to get out to these races and do some racing. But yeah, he's definitely the main focus. I'm just tagging along and doing laps around the track and try to relay some info if I can. But yeah, man, it's been a good time and couldn't thank everyone enough.
Good run and best of luck the rest of the weekend.
Thanks.
All right, Graham wearing two hats, driver and mechanic for world champ Jared Tebow.
Thanks a lot, Scotty. Yeah, busy man there, and couldn't have a better driver for him whenever he's down there on pit road. We'll take a quick break here. We've got a lot more racing action coming your way. Stay with us.
Your usual sound?
Please. The sound of a 1,000cc turbo engine cranking at 8,000 RPMs just got better. HMF, the official sound of the off-road.
Welcome back to our third and final qualifying session here of the day. We're at MidAmerica Outdoors, Jay, Oklahoma, and you're watching the RC Racing at Visions Off-Road presented by A-Main Hobbies. So we had the Open Nitro buggy division start here. The first group has just completed. Congratulations to Graham Hill here once again, as he's had some good success there in that first group today. And we will go to the second group here as they are in their warm-up laps, if you will. A good look there at Camden Lime. Camden's had some success out here today as well. If I'm not mistaken, is also running a couple different categories here, so we'll keep an eye on them. Phelan Nguyen will not be inside of this group, nor will Tyler Hooks. Both have advanced to the back of the Invitational class and grabbed a check for $1,000 along with it.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge race here for these guys. I think the pressure is on. It's the final chance to get into that invite group. And aside from the money and aside from all that, just the prestige of being able to say that you bumped up and ran with those guys is enough to put a truckload of pressure on you. Then you add the chance to win some big money and $1,000 out of this. It's going to be big, that's for sure. Graham Hill right now, that's going to be the time to beat, 26 at a 10:13. Do I think that time will be beat? I do. I think a number of these drivers can beat that time. The question is, who's it going to be? Any one of them is very well capable.
And going back to talking about whoever's going to win this deal and bump up into the Invitational class, we saw Phelan Wynn come out there and led some laps here in that last qualifier in the Invitational, so the young man served himself well.
He did. We kind of laughed about this morning. He said, wouldn't it be something if Phelan Wynn came out? He wins $1,000 for bumping into the invite, and then if he went on to win the invite, well, he made it seem not so far away as he went out there and led and looked very strong, and then he had some troubles, unfortunately, and then dropped out of the race out of that one. These drivers all getting warmed up here, getting checked in as this race is now underway. As we get set to determine who the final open driver, I shouldn't say final, we got one more after this one, to send him to the invite. But one more driver getting that $1,000 check out of this race and going straight to the invite class. Who is it going to be?
And you see some of our sponsors rotating up there on the live timing and scoring board. We appreciate everything that they do, including ProTech RC and A-Main Hobbies on site here. Over there by the Try Me track. J Concepts also part of the package out here. And VP Fuels, we appreciate everything that they do here. Help us out at MidAmerica Outdoors. The Open Nitro Buggy category is underway here. A minute underneath our belt of the 10 scheduled here for this third and final qualifying session. Currently up top, Caden Fuller, followed up by Camden Line, and then Austin Wick. Very early on in this one.
Yeah, and unofficially, looking at the results from the previous round, so what's going to happen is the TQ from this round will automatically go to the invite. Then they're going to take the overall TQ after 3 rounds of the Open Nitro Buggy class, and that driver will also go into the invite for the chance for the big money. And right now, it's between several different drivers, including Caden Fuller, Braxton Coley, and Camden Line. Caden Fuller right now looking strong here in this one. He's sitting third, 4 laps into it. HB Racing driver in the orange and green paint job, younger brother to Mason Fuller. The whole family is here this weekend from Iowa as they're working their way around. Camden Line going to be leading the way here in this one, a 28:10:03. That is more than 2 laps ahead of that previous time set by Graham Hill. So Camden is moving.
Can he do it for the entire time? That's going to be the kicker, of course, and at some point in time we'll come in here for a pit stop, so that will change things up just a little bit as well, as we've documented along the way. We've seen some quick pit stops also out of these guys, but not uncommon to see them anywhere between 5 seconds and 6 to 7 seconds, somewhere in that general area. We saw Mayfield and his crew, it was a 5-second flat. I mean, nearly ticked off a 4.
A very quick pit stop. And Ken, I'm just looking on the infield of the track there, and as we were just talking about, the TLR driver Braxton Coley was had a chance there at possibly being the 4th and final guy to move up into the invite class. The car is dead in the middle of the track, so that may dash his chances at making it into the invite. We'll just have to see. Camden Lime out front leading the way here in this one, 28:10:01 his pace as of right now. Fast lap on the track, your race leader at 20.8. The only driver to get down to the 22nd lap range. Caden Fuller in second, Mechanic in third.
I get a kick out of it, though. You see that blazing fast lap, but if you look at the averages, Caden Fuller just right there, a 28:10:05 to a 28:10:02. Very, very close for sure.
Yeah, these two young guns, they are putting the power down, that's for sure. Like you say, consistency's playing a big part. Right now, Caden Fuller's doing a fantastic job here in this one as he tries to close that gap up on Camden Line. They're going to be 1.5 seconds apart on the clock here. And if you're just tuning in, as we talked about earlier, here in qualifying here for our open buggy class, these guys are on their own clock, so it's not a heads-up race. So if they're together on the track, doesn't necessarily mean that's a battle for position.
Keeping an eye on Austin Wick here. Austin Wick currently sitting in the 3rd position at a pace of 28:10:21, 28:10:05 for Caden Fuller, just ahead of Austin. Ethan Mechanic just behind Austin Wick.
Camden Lime holding strong out front here in this one. 28:10:02 his pace, has not made his pit stop yet. We'll see how the pit stops play out. Camden, he's had some tough luck here. We talked to him, Scotty interviewed him there a little bit earlier, and he talked about that the cards haven't all been in his favor yet so far today. So a good run like this is something he really needs, and he is shooting for that $1,000.
5 players currently ahead of Graham Hill, but things will start to change here now on the clock as pit stops have begun. Nice pit out. Camden Lime out here still ripping laps.
Yeah, Camden out front right now. 28.10.05 has not made his pit stop yet. The S-Works driver out of Arizona, coming up a little bit short right there. He's got a clear track ahead of him. The other nice thing that we talked about earlier is all the cars getting bunched up on the track. Well, we didn't have Fee Long start this one. Tyler didn't start this one. Braxton's out of this one. So rather than having a full 8-car field, I should say, we've only got 5 cars on the track. Oh, no! Trouble for Camden. He rolls it over coming into pit lane. This could be catastrophic for his chance into the invite class and $1,000.
And you know he's absolutely sick and then struggles again. Well, saved that one pretty quickly, but man, that was a lot of time lost on pit end.
Wow. What a turn of events right there. A 9.6-second pit stop, not including the mistake coming out of pit lane. Caden Fuller is now going to take over the number 1 spot by 0.2 of a second.
Camden Lime jumps back up briefly, now back down as Fuller crosses the stripe again. He'll be kicking himself for sure. That's a possible $1,000 mistake right there.
Wow, so Caden Fuller back to the front here, 3.5 seconds back, and at this point, Camden's just got to settle down, get back in his groove. He's got the speed. Caden, though, is doing a fantastic job right now. He's staying consistent, staying smooth. No real mistakes out of Caden so far here in this one. He's got some lap traffic up ahead of him. Oh, no, Camden Lime is off the track now. Unbelievable. Trouble there for Camden Lime. He has had a rough day.
Yeah, that hurts, man. Had a really good session going there. Looked pretty solid. Of course, still a number of laps, or a number of minutes to be finished out there before all that happened, but came into the pits and it just went from bad to worse.
Yeah, Austin Wick going to move on the number 2 spot now. Ethan Mechanic into the 3. Caden Fuller, meanwhile, leading the way here in this one. And there is a very disappointed Camden Lime. Oh, he is not.
And
he is
there's
not
the
happy.
frustration, and rightfully so. He understands what's on the line.
He was running so good there, and everything looked like it was working well, and unfortunately went downhill.
Pitching it up and in the air there as, once again, Caden Fuller out front, Austin Wick in second, Ethan Mechanic in third.
Whoa, that could have been dangerous right there for Fuller. Lap car up ahead of him, getting sideways right there on the takeoff.
Getting down towards the end of this one with just over 2 minutes to go.
Fuller looking really good right now. Austin Wick in that number 2 spot, Ethan Mechanic in the 3 spot. And unofficially at this point, what we're hearing is if this finishes up the way it sits, it looks like it will be Ethan Mechanic to be that 4th driver to bump into the invite class. Of course, Caden would go directly in with a, oh no, a hard hit there for Caden. Looks like that buggy is A-okay and he is still running.
Had a little bit of a pad here. He's on a 28-10-18 to a 27-10-15 for Austin Wick. So Caden Fuller able to right the ship there pretty quickly, but could have really been bad.
Let's take an instant replay here. This is Camden Lime. Camden, bam, oh. And that looks like that was it. That's all it took right there. Something happened to that buggy. I don't know if it flamed out, possibly lost steering. It took a hard hit to the front end. There goes Caden Fuller once again. 1:10 left to go here in this one. Caden Fuller out front on that 28-10-17 pace right now. 2 laps ahead of that previous time set by Graham Hill in the last heat. Austin Wick in second, Ethan Mechanic in third. We are down to 3 cars on the track here in this one. And talk about perfect storm for Caden Fuller. He's got nobody in front of him at this point. A clear track on cruise control, a 16-second lead. Oh, Ethan Mechanic taking a tumble there in the number 3 spot. Austin Wick in the number 2 spot.
Yeah, and you talk about that best average finish as well for that car, and with so many of them out now, and there's just great opportunities missed here in this Q3.
Yeah, you know, in the back of their minds, Austin Wick and Ethan Mechanic, they're trying to focus on driving. But if I was them, I'd be up there trying to do the math in my head at the same time.
Mechanic finishing this one up as the clock winds down. We'll get another lap in here. 5 seconds to go. 4, 3, 2, and 1 as we focus in on Caden Fuller.
Caden making his way around. He may get one more after this one. It depends on when his clock started. He's going to get one more lap, it looks like. So this time around will be his last lap. Austin Wick coming around for his last lap, and here comes Ethan Mechanic. So it looks like this one's going to finish up in the order they're going. And right now, the Fuller family has got to be ecstatic. Mason has had fantastic runs today in the Open E-buggy class and the Invite class. And here comes Caden Fuller with the win here at Open Nitro Buggy and TQ time, 26 at a 10:13. He is going to the Invite class and $1,000.
Nicely done. Austin Wick there in second place. Ethan Mechanic in third. And we'll go down to Scotty.
Thank you very much. A big smile from Caden. Man, what was going through your mind in closing stages, nosing? There's $1,000 on the line.
Yeah, I was just trying to play it safe because Camden had bad luck, but yeah.
$1,000, man. Is that going to your mechanic dad or mom, or is that staying in your pocket?
That's staying in my pocket for sure.
Outstanding. Now that you're bumping up the Invite, what's your mindset going in, running with the big boys? And your brother.
Yeah. I'm probably just going to try to just see what I can do, run some clean laps.
All right, well, we got a check coming here in just a minute for you. But this is your first time ever racing for money?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, especially $1,000. Man, I've never had a chance. I've won $20 before, but never $1,000. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
How long have you been racing now?
About 10 years.
Are you better than your brother?
Yeah.
I like that. Exactly. Hey, we got a check for you here. Aaron's going to bring this one over. Look at this. Show me the money. $1,000. Caden Fuller. Big smile there. Congratulations. Winning round number 3 of Open. Going to punch his ticket to the Invite division and $1,000 in his pocket. So congratulations. We're going to throw it back to Ken and Mike as we find out who's going to be our overall Open TQ, and they're also going to get presented with a check. We'll find that out here in just a few moments.
$1,000 large going to Caden Fuller. Congratulations to him. And we did some gorilla math up here. I know, are we allowed to say this, or we want to wait till the officials make the call?
I don't want to be the one to say it wrong. So I'll let you say it, or we'll let the officials say it.
But we think, according to our gorilla math up here, we believe that Ethan Mechanic will be the best average here left to go, and the last one to transfer in, we'll let that is unconfirmed, but maybe we can confirm it right now. Let's get it back to Scotty. I'm sorry, we're going to go to commercial break, and then we'll confirm it. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And once again, we are back here at MidAmerica Outdoors, and we're going to get it over to Scotty.
All right, we are here with your overall top qualifier. We're going to bring this check over here. Joey from the dirt, he's here to present it. Congratulations, $1,000 to Ethan Mechanic.
Yeah, it was a good weekend so far. Track's really cool, pretty technical in that, and hopefully I can keep up in the invite class and carry on the rest of the momentum through the weekend.
Man, $1,000, you don't look excited.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Exactly. You ever think racing RC cars, you're going to win $1,000?
It's pretty good. It's basically a whole car and a half, so I'd say that's pretty well.
There you go. See, the big picture, thinking smart, $1,000. Give it up here for Ethan Mechanic.
Excellent job to that young man. And, of course, he'll get to try his skills against the best in the world here in just a few minutes as well.
And there you see Jason Rona of one of our sponsors, J Concepts. That is the owner of J Concepts, standing down there talking to Jared Tebow and his whole family. That is Megan Tebow and their daughter Rosalind. Their son there with Jared checking out the A-Main Triad track. Talk about a true racer at heart, Ethan Mechanic. He wins $1,000, and within 30 seconds, he's already thinking about
a new car. And a half.
And a half to do it again.
He's working on
That's right.
the third car.
That's right. That's right. So, pretty wild. But good look there at the A-Main Hobbies Triad track. A fantastic addition here this weekend here at the Visions Off-Road event. Lots of cool stuff going on, and everybody can come over, watch the RC racing, turn around, and try it out themselves.
We will switch categories here. We'll go to the open E-buggy category for the electric cars, and we'll take a couple minutes off of the clock here, but we're going to add a few cars to the list. So a large group of these competitors here. I think there's a large class, I should say, the largest class that we have out here. I believe 4 different groups that we will have here all said and done, and a number of the invitational drivers in that final group. We'll see how things shake out here in the open E-buggy division, Q3.
One of those drivers, of course, going to be Braxton Coley. We saw him a gut-wrenching into that third and final qualifier there in the open buggy class. He had a shot to be where Ethan Mechanic was at. It was between him, Ethan Mechanic, and Camden Lime for that final spot of the invite. And unfortunately, his race ended early, but he's back up now, going to look to redeem himself. Hopefully wipes that out of his mind, and he's ready to go here for open E-buggy.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you got to do, right? You got to shake it off and move it along. You got to put it behind you. You've got to have a short memory to let the bad stuff go and get back out here and get your head right, attack it. A look at the players that will be out here in this first group. It'll be 9 cars strong.
Yeah, we got Braxton Cully, Trevor Michaelisko, Jacob Vihill, Sean Miller, Robert Chapman, Tony Hinojosa, Scott Brewer, Tyler Noon, and Camden Lime.
As they make their way down pit road.
Good shot of the drivers there as they're getting themselves ready here for heat number 1, open E-buggy. There you see Camden Lime. He was very disappointed, very frustrated after his open Nitro buggy race, but he's all smiles now. Camden, a great young man, a great driver as well, and hopefully he has a little bit of luck here in this one than he did in the last one.
Yeah, looks like he's eliminated that from the brain, at least for now. Focus here on the E-car, and we'll find out how he does. And a number of tough competitors in here. These cars are extremely fast, as we've documented pretty much all day long. And, of course, each group gets just a little bit faster. If you're wondering why they are not taking advantage of a practice time, the clock is not ticking even for the practice time just yet. I wonder if they've been held up by the race director for whatever reason. Eventually they will track marshals, okay? The corner workers are making their way out here to help out. Man, we really appreciate what they're doing, and it is a brutal, brutal job here this weekend. Thank you very much for those guys.
Yeah, these drivers all getting set to go.
I'll give you 3 degrees. Let's just call it 100.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Luckily for the drivers, as they, oh boy, City of J ambulance making its way in.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me that there's some heat issues going on out there today. There's a huge pool here, and we all want to be in it. Oh, nice little 360 spin down there. And looked like Danny Sullivan's spin to win, just spun it all the way around and kept going.
As these drivers got about a minute and a half left of their warm-up clock, you can see the driver's stand in the background, and probably one of the nicest driver's stand I've ever seen, especially it's such short notice. As Joey Christensen mentioned yesterday, the track builder here this weekend, he got to design the driver's stand, and he did a phenomenal job doing so, and they did a phenomenal job putting the thing together. The drivers are shaded. They got a roof on top of them. There's there's a ramp to get up and down it. They've got wheelchair accessible position on the driver's stand, an enclosed scoring booth, AC. It's the works.
Yeah, that's awesome, and I'm sure we're really glad they did that one. However, the track marshal's probably not feeling all that love.
No, the next thing they did is just cover the whole track. They help those guys out a little.
Yeah, you get a good look at that area that Mike was just speaking of as well. Phenomenal job down there. A lot of hard work.
I believe this is Braxton Coley we're looking at right here, taking a few extra laps than his competitors there as he's working his way around, trying to make sure he's got all the bugs shaked out. He's ready to go here for our E-buggy, open E-buggy heat number 1, our final round of qualifying here for these drivers.
Saving a little bit of juice here, about 30 seconds before the official clock starts to count down.
There's
when it comes to electric motors, are there options?
Yes, there are, as a matter of fact. And one of the things you got to think about on the options is everybody immediately they think, hey, the more power, the better off. Which on a big, wide open track, the guys are going to use the most powerful motor they can get. But at the same time, that draws a lot of power out of those batteries and shortens your runtime overall. And on a track like this, I don't imagine that these guys are running the max motor that they can possibly put in these cars. I would imagine they've scaled it back, given them a little extra run time, keeping things cooler, keeping the electronics cool and all of that. But yes, there are multiple options they can run.
And what about batteries? Spec battery?
No, not a spec battery. They have to, I believe the 4-cell is the largest battery you can go. 10-scale cars use a 2-cell battery. You can run 2, 3, and 4-cell batteries and still technically be legal. All these cars are going to either run one 4-cell battery or they'll run 2 2-cell batteries that are connected together.
So a little information here on the 8th scale electric buggies. One thing we can tell you is whenever they put them together, the lap times here are equally impressive as the Nitro cars.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing how far e-buggies have come because I'm going to say probably 15 years ago, the first companies started coming out with conversions. Techno RC being one of them that would take a Nitro buggy. You could buy this conversion kit and kind of Frankenstein yourself an electric buggy together. And like anything, everybody said, oh, this isn't going to take off, this isn't going to take off. And now a lot of races you go to anymore and a lot of your local tracks and stuff, just because of the ease of getting into it and the maintenance and all that, e-buggy is really taken off and is oftentimes, as we've seen here this weekend, your biggest class.
Yeah, the ease of it, as you spoke of before, a great way to get into it. Part of those quick lap times, as we've heard documented from other players, I believe it was Ty Tessman talking about a low CG, low center of gravity on these cars, given where the battery is located on them. And consequently, they're very, very fast. Again, all-wheel drive cars. We haven't touched on that, I don't believe, today, but all-wheel drive cars, just like the Nitro cars, and fully adjustable on all 4 corners.
I'm watching these buggies slide around out there, and I can only imagine what a 2-wheel drive buggy or truck out there on these conditions would be like. It'd be hard to go in a straight line, let alone making a complete lap, that's for sure. Well, 2:20 into this one, the 5:40 left to go. Camden Lime is out front leading once again. This is not the first time we've seen him lead a race today. However, fingers crossed for Camden, this one goes a little better than the last one did, as he is shooting down the side straight there, crossing the line, coming back around to the front side. Now fastest lap of the race belongs to your race leader, a 20.7.
Yeah, really nice lick here, especially in the heat of the day on the track that is deteriorating as these cars continue to just demolish it, shredding it, if you will, right there underneath another competitor. Flies it nicely into the final turn. Sails it down the straightaway. Quick little kicker right into there, and then this 180 and what we're calling turn 2. And a good look there at the ruts. And look how it's blue groove down there in the bottom. If you're wondering if They burn the tires off of these things, and you told me before, I mean, it's not uncommon for them to leave with new tires and come back with slicks.
Yeah, and I believe, I can't remember who we were talking to up on the driver's stand. Scotty was talking to him, asking about tire wear, and they said tire wear is pretty high this weekend, meaning that, maybe 1, possibly 2 runs on a set of tires, and it's time to glue up some new tires and put some fresh rubber on. 4:25 left to go. It's Camden Lime out front. Braxton Coley in second. Tyler Noon in the number 3 spot. Robert Chapman in the 4 spot. Jacob Vigil in that number 5 spot, followed by Hinojosa, Miller, Michalesco, and Brewer rounding out your field here.
Stuff with the nose just a little bit there on that landing. Goes a bit wide, opens up the door, was very respectful to the competitor right behind him.
Now it looks like that's going to be Braxton Coley, the TLR driver, out of Carthage, Missouri, driving the green, yellow, and a white machine.
And that's cool to see the camaraderie. To see these guys take care of each other like that is, it's really good. It's good sportsmanship, and unfortunately eating it right there for just a moment.
Yeah, that was a lucky save for him right there, laying it back on his wheels. All these racers are obviously very thankful to have the corner marshals out there to help them out and flip them back over, but the last thing they want to do is use them. 3:20 left here in this one. Camden Lime still out front. Braxton Coley 7.5 seconds back in the number 2 spot. Tyler Noon in that 3 spot. Beal in the 4 spot, and Hinojosa rounding out your top 5 here in our open E-buggy heat number 1.
It's actually amazing to me how many times you see these cars flip over, and they do tend to land back on their wheels.
I don't have that luck when I drive one.
I wouldn't either.
What happens is all the times they should be upside down, it just gets saved and dumped on me. Well, there's your race leader right there, Camden Lime. Trying to stretch out his lead a bit, 8.5 seconds ahead now of Braxton Coley. Ooh, Camden getting up close to that ProTech RC banner.
Trying to get it sorted out there. Just a little waggle, if you will, out of those 2 turns, and finally got it settled down the front straightaway. A little tighter look. Banging off that step up. It's the double, and here's it out.
Camden getting a little sideways there, able to whip the car back into shape as he comes back around here. 2 minutes left to go here in this one. And you see right there how fast Camden already knew he was going to hit that inside pipe. He corrects out of it, gets back into the corner, back on the throttle, able to do the double. It's these guys put down a lot of talent, that's for sure. As you've said many times, they make it look very easy.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. It's so cool to watch them, and when you watch them, how they're working the controllers and the light fingers, the light touch that they have, that's exactly what it takes.
All right, here they come back around here. That is actually your first and second place drivers right there together on the track. They are separated by 14 seconds now on the clock. Camden Lime there and Braxton Coley. Oh, one driver, what a save right there in the background.
Clearly no need to fuel these things up, so we won't see any pit stops in this qualifying session for the E-class. On the big air time there. Camden Lime and Braxton Coley battling here. Camden Lime with a nice lead right now at 23.813 to a 22.810.
Yeah, Jacob Vigil in that number 3 spot on a 21.812, followed by Sean Miller.
Yee! Big air time.
Oh, boy. And Braxton jumping right up in the mix. He said, I may be 15 seconds back on the clock, but I'm going to give you a run for your money here on this one. Braxton jumping the step. Oh, Camden rolling over. Ah, there we go.
A little bit of love from his competitor, turning back over.
Whoa! Hang on to it, Camden.
Camden needs to close this thing out. I mean, we're winding down the final seconds, and he's having some tough laps.
Yeah, Camden looking, he was looking strong here in this one. Oh, little mistake there.
I think that might have been Braxton Coley that we saw take a tumble there, currently in second. That'll give Camden a chance to get things sorted back out here.
Camden is pushing really hard right now. You can see him on the throttle, just drifting through these corners. And there he's going to finish this one up with a 22 and an 8 flat, 0.5, so just barely missed the 23-lap run. Braxton Coley going to be finished up in that number 2 spot as he works his way around here. Coley down the side straight, and that's going to do it for Braxton. Camden Lime going to take our win here in Open E-buggy heat number 1. Braxton Coley will take second. Jacob Vigil in that number 3 spot. Well, some more great racing here for our Open E-buggy class. Once again, there's your race results from that heat. Camden Lime, Braxton Coley, Jacob Vigil, Sean Miller, Tony Hinojosa, Trevor Michalesco, Tyler Noon, Robert Chapman, and Scott Brewer. Rounding out the field here for Heat 1. Another heat of Open E-buggy coming up next.
We'll bring you some highlights from that previous qualifying session. Keep an eye on Camden Lime there. Has really strung together some nice laps, but had his fair share of issues along the way as well.
Yeah, Camden is he's had an on and off day today, and he's on the gas now. And hopefully tomorrow will go a little bit smoother for it. We look back at some of these drivers out of that last race. Braxton Coley working his way around.
And let's get it back over to Scotty.
Thank you, Ken. We're here with Camden Lime. You got to the top of the heat, but coming back to back off that Nitro, it's been a tough day.
Yeah, it's been a day to forget for sure. I feel like I've got one of the faster cars out there, especially in Open, and I was running really good. Me and Caden had a good battle going, and something electrical happened, but I can't really, I could probably control that, but it is what it is, and gonna go out and I guess run Open and hopefully take a win in there.
That's what you got to do. But here in this E-buggy, you got to the front. There's a few small mistakes, but nothing bad. But you're able to salvage a win out of it.
Yeah, I ran good for the first 7 minutes. Pretty perfect, almostly. I had a really cool whip on the back. I hope you guys caught that thing. And but yeah, the last minute my tires started to get a little warm, so they started folding a little bit. It made the car a little bit harder to drive, but. Yeah, I can't really complain. I'm out here. It's beautiful out here. The facility's awesome, and I'm going to try my hardest to go out there and take a win in Open.
All right, best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, you got Camden Lime, S-Works driver. Big picture, he had a good whip. There you go. That's what he took out of it. Back to you guys.
For sure, he did have a good whip back there, and yes, we did catch that. We saw it. It looked pretty sweet, no doubt about it. But the first time I've heard that term, that tires got a little bit hot and started folding over, made the car a little more difficult to drive.
Yeah, Camden is he's definitely in the tire game for sure. He's running the different set of tires than I believe he was running earlier in the day, and good for him to find that out today and not tomorrow during the main events, that's for sure. You can see the intensity on those drivers' faces.
Once again, we will take a commercial break here, and we'll come back with some more racing.
Ready for any challenge. Maxxis tires can handle even the most punishing off-road conditions. Maxxis tires. Tread victoriously.
And the first of 4 groups here in the Open E-buggy category is complete. The second group coming up here. A couple of players inside of this one, including Tanner Denny and Ty Tessman. We saw Ty Tessman lay down a good session here in Q2. Thought he might have a chance there to win the overall, but all said and done, was not able to get it done. I think he ended up maybe in the top 5, but certainly has the talent to get it done. There's a look at the players that will be in here. Phi-Long Nguyen and Ty Tessman, Caden Fuller. Also have Austin Wick, Garrett Martin, Ethan McCann.
Tanner Denny, Tyler Hooks, and Joshua Vigil. As these drivers get a few warm-up laps here. Another one we got in. We got both, actually, all three of, we got Phi-Long Nguyen, who made his way up into the invite class. We've got Ethan Mechanic, made his way to the invite class. Tyler Hooks, who made his way to the invite class. And Caden Fuller, who made his way to the invite class. This is just
cool.
regular.
What are the chances, right?
Yeah, all the invite bump-up drivers all in one race here for E-buggy.
And, of course, they all bumped up out of the open Nitro category, but all here in the E class as well.
Looks like 10 seconds left here before this race gets underway. You can see Ty Tessman. He's wanting to take off first, have a clean start here ahead of the rest of the pack. Here we go. Ty Tessman going to be the first one on the clock.
8 minutes in distance, as always, here for the E-cars as we are off and running. See if they can pick up the pace here over the guys that have already qualified. Camden Lime on top with a pace of 22, 8 flat.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see after these guys make a few laps exactly what their lap times are going to be. As you had mentioned earlier about the track maintenance, they haven't thrown down any more water, and obviously the water isn't holding up very well, but I would imagine the track is still deteriorating from one heat to the next, and so these guys probably have a little bit different track than the last heat had. Whether that's an advantage or a disadvantage, could go either way.
And we know a 23 pace is certainly there because Camden really just missed it. Unfortunately, as he said, documented, had 7 really good minutes there, and unfortunately, right there at the very end, Bob really had a couple of tough laps, so it's certainly possible. We'll see if somebody can put one together here.
But he did have a big whip.
He did have a big whip, so, I mean, if you're going to go out,
cool. Go out with a big whip. That's right. Well, 3 laps into this one, Ty Tessman going to be out front, leading the way here on a 23-lap run, 23 at an 8:07. Your top 3 drivers ahead of that previous TQ time. That is Tessman, Phi-Long Nguyen, and Tanner Denny.
And as these guys continue on here in this heat, and you can see that blue groove there, some of these corners are just going to rubber up. They'll start taking some rubber. It'll actually start binding some of that dirt up, so it might slick off to some degree, but it's pretty much going to bed that dirt down and should stay solid here for the rest of the day. But the rest of that stuff, man, and you mentioned it before, if you get offline at all and get in that granular, loose dirt, and you're going to lose a lot of time.
Anytime there's a cloud of dust around your car, you're in serious trouble because that means you are out in the fluff and in for a wild ride. We saw Phi-Long Nguyen there. He's in that number 2 spot. Made a little mistake that last lap. Had to spin a donut to get back going the right direction, but he's back rolling now here in this one. Still sitting second, 2 seconds back from your leader, Ty Tessman. Tessman on a 23.805 pace. Phi-Long Nguyen on 23.816 pace, and Tanner Denny 0.2 of a second back. Ooh.
And Nguyen just tagged that kicker right before the first turn. Really upset the car. He was right down on the bottom of the track, and it seems like if you're on the bottom, that's the worst part. The farther out you go to open up the entry of that, the smoother it tends to get.
Yeah, and it's kind of a mind game, it seems like, for these guys because everybody wants to stay on that tight inside line, run the shortest line, but at the same time, that, like you say, that shortest line is getting rougher and rougher, and it's going to cost some people some time. As we've seen that hole catch multiple people at this point. Ty Tessman leading the way 2.4 seconds. Ethan Mechanic now up into the number 2 spot. Another one of those bump drivers from the open class up into the invite class. Turns the fastest lap of the race with a 20.8, 1/10 of a second faster than Ty Tessman's fast lap time.
Yeah, Phi-Long Nguyen, his lap time just a tick quicker than Ty Tessman. With I say that, Ty Tessman just lays down quick lap of the sessions. He goes 20.6.
Wow.
Phi-Long Nguyen jumps up in there. He goes at 20.4. It's like right back at you, pal. Pretty cool, man. The young man is certainly talented.
As we're looking here, this is Ethan Mechanic, and I believe that is going to be Austin Wick, if I'm not mistaken, right there behind him. Mechanic in the blue and yellow buggy, white wheels, clear wing there as he heads down onto the backside. Ty Tessman out front. Now Tanner Denny up in the number 2 spot. Win in 3rd, Mechanic in 4th, and Caden Fuller rounding out your top 5.
Good looking car here, continues to rip around. We are at the halfway point of this 8-minute third and final qualifying session for the second group here in Open E-buggy. 4 minutes to go.
Again, another tuning option that these guys will often go back and forth on. You see, like, look at the Tanner Denny's S-Works car here. It's got a black plastic wing on it, a solid plastic wing, and same with Tyler Hooks right there behind him. However, we noticed that Ethan Mechanic, he's running a lightweight Lexan wing, so it's more like what you'd see on a 10-scale indoor car, and it's far less durable, but it's lightweight and gives the car a totally different feel to it than, per se, a plastic heavy wing like this.
Yeah, very interesting as they continue to provide these guys with options. As we were following Tanner Denny around, Tanner Denny currently sitting P3 at a 23.816, 23.816.3 to a 23.816.24 for a fee-long win. Very, very close.
And Camden, wow.
Awesome.
He launched that one right there. Camden was a little disappointed. It seemed like after that last run he made a few mistakes, but right now, overall, if it finishes the way it sits, he's still getting a 5th overall for the round heading into the final heat. Mechanic right now onto the backside of the track, coming down the side straight here. One more heat of Open E-buggy to go after this one. Oh, trouble on the front straight. That may have been Caden Fuller getting tangled up there. I saw the orange and green.
And these guys really stringing together some nice laps now. Of course, they've been out here all day. The second day out here on this track as they get a feel for it.
Ethan Mechanic.
Nice job right there, man.
That's driving right there.
That is max speed into that 180 for sure. Opened it up beautifully. I know you say whenever there's dust there, it's not a good sign, but man, it sure is cool to watch. It makes them look fast, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Kind of like a big whip. It makes you look fast. Ty Tessman. Oh, man. Trouble there for Tanner Denny as he gets caught up there. I'm not sure exactly who that was that got into the back of him there and rolled him over. However, Denny in that number 2 spot. Take a Vision's instant replay here. Watch this. He comes in and boom. Send him on his lid and on his way there. So tough luck there for Tanner Denny, getting caught up with another driver.
Yeah, he had bumped up into the second position. Now will fall down into 3rd. Ty Tessman still up top. Ethan Mechanic doing a great job in 2nd. About 13 seconds behind. We'll have to do some work. A little contact there in the final turn.
Yeah, I believe Tanner Denny's caught back up with that same driver. That driver letting him go on by that time.
Yeah, I'm sure was no intention there. I'm sure if Denny had wanted to, if he'd have hit it properly, Denny would have drove away from him. Unfortunately, just didn't happen. Wow, big moment right there in that final turn. Did absolutely nothing wrong. Am I off again?
You're back now.
Well, and so that is weird because I could hear myself the entire time. So there is something funky going on with our mics. So if we drop out from time to time, we apologize.
Here comes, now we're looking at Ty Tessman. Tessman going to be out front. 23 at an 8:07 his pace. With one heat left to go after this one. Fast lap of the race right now, your race leader, a 20.4. Tell you what, Ty Tessman is moving. This is a rough track, and it's just continuing to get rougher. It's got a slick surface on it as well, and Ty is making the best of it here. As now, here's the biggest obstacle on the track, and that is lap traffic. Ty gets tangled up there and goes upside down.
Right in front of him will ruin will certainly ruin this lap, and oh no.
Oh, that was his last lap.
That was his last lap.
Oh, no.
Is it good enough to hang on? That's going to be the question.
Wow, and there you see.
I mean, he might be quick in this group, but he knows what he has to do, which is be quick overall here, including this next group coming up.
Watch this instant replay. That was a hard hit right there. I believe that is Tanner Denny's car. It is. That's Tanner Denny that he got into there on the straightaway. Wow, what a turn of events there for Ty Tessman. Still finishes up with a 23.807.
And I think he was sitting at a 23.806, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe not too big of a loss there, but he'll need everything he can possibly get to win the overall here.
Well, I can tell you firsthand that the Tessmans are going to be looking over that car to make sure nothing is broke, cracked, or bent out of shape. So they got some work ahead of them to do here. Ty Tessman takes it. Ethan Mechanic second. Fee Long wins third. Tanner Denny fourth. Garrett Martin, Fuller, Hooks, Vigil, and Wick. Let's send it down to Scotty on the driver's stand.
With X-Ray driver Ty Tessman. Ty, it was a great run, but that last lap, thank goodness it was your last lap.
Yeah, my car was really good that time. I had more grip. I felt like I could just drive around and kind of pick my lines and point and shoot more what I had to do. My car would actually go straight when I got on the gas, which was good. So I'm happy with how my car's working. I think we're pretty confident in the tires now, what to run for the rest of the weekend. But it's just what you get for being the B qualifier. It's just a little more chaos out there. So I think my car, though, is fast enough to compete with the A main guys, and I've been getting pretty good points. So I think I'll be somewhere, hopefully near the front of the A grid. So just kind of got to drive in that, and hopefully make the best out of my situation, basically.
You mentioned you were happy with your tires that you're running now. What have you gone through here through each round of practice and racing?
We've been trying different compounds just because the track is kind of that polished, the black groove. It looks like it would be higher grip, but it's actually polishing and making less grip because the cars are just sliding over it. So trying to get a compound that works with that. And now I've run the same compound as before today, but a different tread. And I have the Alaska cut, like that big tractor tread pattern that I ran a few races now. I put that on and it worked really good. It had a lot of forward drive. Didn't catch the bumps really in the hard ruts, so it was easy to drive and faster. So I'm really excited about that.
Well, best of luck here in your next round.
Thank you.
All right. So he's got one more round to invite, but positive attitude from the world champ.
Thanks a lot, Scotty. And yet I'm surprised he gave up a little bit of information on the tire tread choice there as well, and talking about how well it worked for him. We'll see if anybody else captures that information and tries to apply it as well. We are far from done here. Stick with us. We'll take a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Why do racers from around the world shop at amain.com Performance Sports and Hobbies? Because winners and world champions shop with the best. We have the hottest new racing kits on the market and the parts and accessories you need to make it to the A-Main. Your competitors already shop with us, shouldn't you? Find out why we're the world's #1 source for the gear you need to make it to the podium. Join the race. Log on to amain.com today. amain.com.
And we're back here. As you can see, a lot of action going on outside the track here as well at MidAmerica Outdoors. We're in Jay, Oklahoma. This place is packed, a racing mecca, especially when it comes to off-road. Looks like one of the racers out there getting some help from another vehicle, but a little something here for everybody. And if you don't want to race and you just want to hang out by the pool, or you want to go to the bar, you want to go to the restaurant, whatever the case may be, there's something here for everybody. So if mom wants to go racing, dad and the kids can hang out, vice versa. If dad wants to go racing, mom and the kids say, yeah, man, we're all in. Let's go to the pool on a hot day here in Oklahoma. Any way you slice it, it's a lot of fun. Everybody is here. One of our featured drivers here that we had a chance to spend some time with. As you take a look at that hill climb going on up there, man, that looks like a ball of fun. They need a couple of cars for us to climb, and I'll give that one a go. As you can see, the silt patch up there as well. But one of our featured drivers here comes out of Medina, Ohio. Very, very talented man. And we had a chance to sit down with him a little bit earlier today. His name's Ryan Lutz.
My name is Ryan Lutz. I'm from Medina, Ohio. I've been racing for 30 years. My dad's had a hobby shop pretty much my whole life, so I've always been around RC cars and just picked it up from when I was 7 when I started racing, but I mean I had an RC car since I was 4 in my hands, just driving around the house. The reason I like to keep racing and competing, I've just always been competitive as far as being on the track. I'm probably the least vocal, or you wouldn't ever think of me as competitive when I'm like conversing with somebody else. But if you watch my car on the track, my car is probably one of the most aggressive. And you look up at me on the driver's stand, I'm like calm as can be. But I just like competing. I like trying to win, do the best that I can every time. And I just realized though that if I don't win, that's just what it was that day. You know, I give it 100% of the time, and it falls where it may. When I started, when I was younger, I drove extremely hard. Lots changed in the industry since then. Back then, tires were not as many selection of choices, and they were a lot harder. So the harder compounds allowed us to drift a lot more on a lot of the tracks. Tracks are a lot more prepared now. Tires have gotten way softer, so we can get a lot more grip. So I've kind of adjusted my driving style. I don't drive as hard. I can, it's still in my repertoire. I can bring it out if needed on certain tracks. But in general, I can definitely tone it down as well to be consistent. I think it means a lot. You know, we don't have a lot of events where we're in front of a lot of potential spectators, and especially a lot of that media exposure that we're getting this weekend. And I think it's really important to be able to show that, because RC is a ton of fun, especially for kids getting into it, or fathers with their sons getting into the hobby. It gets the kids off the computer, off the video games, and you're learning engineering, you're learning tons of stuff about the cars, and there's so much to set them up. They can almost set up more things than on a real car. So it's a great thing for children, families, and just it's awesome to be able to showcase that.
And that is Ryan Lutz, and Ryan's had some success out here already this weekend. Very, very talented driver. Great to have him out here, and as you heard there, documented for 30 years this guy's been playing this game, so not much he hasn't seen along the way. Very impressive credentials.
Well, and as he mentioned, Ryan Lutz, he is spot on with how the tracks have changed and how his driving style has changed. When I kind of first came into the RC scene, and Ryan was originally with Kyosho many, many years ago, he was known as kind of the drift king, and he drove every car he had wide open, and he was wild and fun to watch, and he's still fun to watch, but he's smoothed out, and he's really got his ducks in a row, and he knows what he's doing, and he can handle just about any track you throw at him.
And with the tire deck that we talk about out here, and he talked about how soft they are, no more sliding these things. I mean, you don't want to rip those things around. You will destroy the tire, and the last handful of laps, you find yourself in trouble.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. And unfortunately, that for me, I never got away from the drift stage. Maybe that's why I'm so terrible now. But I
like to watch you.
That's right. Yeah, they still like to watch me. They just like to watch me crash all the time. So, a lot has changed, as he said, and everything evolves, that's for sure, as they get moving. You see Ryan Lutz getting set to go here for this one, our final heat of Open E-buggy for round 3 of qualifying.
Yeah, the big dogs are going to come out here and play. It will feature Mason Fuller, Jared Tebow, Ryan Lutz, as we just documented, Spencer Rivkin, Jared Wiggins, Cole Ogden, Ryan Pavitas, Seth Van Dalen, and Ryan Mayfield. As you take a look at the credentials there for Ryan Lutz, Medina, Ohio, and 1985, and you'd never know he was that old.
Well, and I tell you one thing that he is not racing this weekend. They're not offering the truck classes, but he is a fantastic truck driver as well. Here we got Mason Fuller, the HB Racing driver out of Grimes, Iowa. He's a more of a youngster, born in 2005. Nitro and E-buggy. He's also quite the wheel behind the 10-scale vehicles too. He'll be another one to reckon with here, as we saw him take the TQ spot in round 1 and 2, I do believe, of Open E-buggy.
That is exactly right. So having a good time out here as well.
We're looking at Ryan Lutz right here as this race gets underway. Lutz driving the Kyosho car down the side straight. Putting a few laps in the books here in this one. Mason Fuller comes right out of the gate with a 20.6 on lap 1. Fastest lap early on from Mason Fuller.
Yeah, Mason very comfortable here, as you talked about, and doing a good job in that Open Nitro category in both of those Qs, 1 and 2. So able to apply whatever worked on that Nitro car here to the E-car.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And these guys, like you say, I think, as you've said, seat time is good time, and they're just making the best of it. And you can see these guys are improving more and more and more each time they get on the racetrack.
Sliding that car through there. Looks super good. Nice momentum, and you want it just free enough, right, to carry that momentum. You get it too gripped up, it wants to get up on the bike or it'll flip. If you don't have enough grip, then you're sliding and you're destroying the tires. It's a little sweet spot that they chase.
Yeah, and looks like Ryan Lutz has done a pretty good job of finding that spot, as he was your TQ out of open Nitro buggy for round 2. Now he's trying to chase down right now your race leader here. This one, Mason Fuller, out front on a 24.819 pace. In the number 2 spot is Ryan Mayfield, and Jared Tebow in the 3 spot. Lutz in the 4, and Spencer Rivkin in that 5 spot.
And that very colorful car with the bright yellow wheels is Fuller. Mason Fuller, and he was up top and now quickly has been jostled down to the 4th position. Lutz goes to the top, Tebow 2nd, Mayfield 3rd. This one's changing quickly all of a sudden.
Boy, Fuller right there, backed it in, coming down the side straight there onto the front side. He really had to wheel that one, drifting his way in. Ryan Lutz and Jared Tebow right now 0.5 of a second. Rivkin in the 4 spot, Mayfield in the 5.
Yes, 7 cars here on a 23-lap pace. And the only one able to do that so far, Ty Tessman. Ty Tessman currently sitting P4. Of course, he was in that previous group. I'm talking about overall here as we keep an eye on this group. But some talented drivers in here, and this is what we've seen all day long when this group comes out. These guys are bad fast.
Here comes Tebow working his way through the infield right now. Trying to close that gap up on Ryan Lutz. They are 0.6 of a second apart on the clock. Jared Tebow driving the Techno RC buggy, his signature red, white, and blue paint scheme. Coming back around that lap by a 21 flat for him, 0.67 seconds back from Ryan Lutz out front.
And, of course, to get into this group, it all started yesterday, one day ago, as we talked about. And Ty Tessman brought that up by not qualifying into this fast group. He had to deal with some of the slower cars, and that's what got him in trouble. He ended up, with some contact with some of those slower cars, and pretty much said, you know what, I needed to do a better job in my seating session, and just didn't get it done.
Yeah, and on top of that, it's also a little bit harder to pace yourself as well, because it's a natural instinct to pace yourself with the guys you're racing with on the track.
I agree 100%.
And, he needs to be up here with these guys and pace himself with these guys, and it's tough. But as of right now, if this race were to finish the way it sits, the time he set in the last one, a 23.807, would still have him 4th overall for the round.
So, and there's a little bit left inside of it. And I couldn't agree with you more. If he was out here around some fast guys, I think he would find a little more. So he's certainly capable of doing it. Just didn't work out for him one day ago. It is what it is, and he has a great attitude about it.
Well, now we're looking at the Mugen driver there, the Mugen J Concepts of Ryan Mayfield. Of course, Mayfield is, you can never underestimate Ryan Mayfield and what he is capable of doing. He is sitting in the number 3 spot right now, just behind Jared Tebow, 0.4 of a second back from him. Look at Mayfield, how close he gets to that outside pipe just to miss that little kicker that we've been talking about.
Yeah, and it looked to me like the car was a bit tight right there in that fast right-hander. You can see he had a lot of wheel in it, but it really didn't want to turn. Still on the throttle, of course, and when you're on the throttle, it makes him a little more difficult to turn, but that's all in setup right there, and he could probably get a little bit more out of that car. He'll learn something here, and I'm sure we'll take it into that 3rd and final qualifier in the Invitational class.
Yeah, here he comes back to the infield there. So close to those inside tubes there. He's got, I believe that's Cole Ogden behind him on the track. Ooh, bicycle in there just a bit. Jared Tebow just behind them. Ryan Lutz, meanwhile, still out front. Oh, trouble there for Mayfield.
Yeah, really bit it there. Needed a corner worker to turn that one back over. I'd be really curious to find out what the fix is to get that thing to turn under power like that. Maybe a little rake in the car, put a little more weight up on the nose, on the front end when it's at speed like that. If it's at speed like that and that wing is squatting the rear end, it's going to make the car tight and push and not want to turn. We go back and take a look at his incident right there. Really lands nose down and really on one wheel, and it just got ugly as he hit one of the ruts.
He was on the gas trying to get one of those wheels to grab it, flip it right back over, but just wasn't able to make it happen.
And it does save these cars a lot. The all-wheel drive cars, if they can get on the throttle, it tends to slam everything back down on the ground and make them happy. Just didn't get away with it there.
Well, Mayfield with that incident, dropping back to the number 4 spot now. Ryan Lutz still out front. Jared Tebow in 2nd. Now Mayfield back to third, Rivkin in fourth, and Pavitas in the top 5.
Yeah, and as you take a look at the times, it's 23.804, 23.805, 23.809, 23.809, and another one balling it up.
Yeah, that looked like Spencer Rivkin there in the number 4 spot. That's going to drop him back in the field. And I tell you what, the more these guys crash and have a rough run like this, Ty Testman is all smiles as he just keeps bumping his way up for the overall in the round. Up there right now, he's sitting 3rd overall if they were to finish the way they're at, just behind Ryan Lutz and Jared Tebow.
Yeah, and you know he's going to kick himself that little bit of contact right on that last lap, right? I mean, you take another second. He lost a second on that deal, so, one more second just might get him up there to the top.
Looking at Spencer Rivkin as he's working his way around trying to fight back from that mistake. Ryan Pavitas now up into 4th. Rivkin, the team associated driver out of Arizona as well. Up on the backside of the track, he goes down the side straight. And now look at this, Jared Tebow taking over the number 1 spot. Tebow with a 0.4 of a second lead over Ryan Lutz in second. Lutz crosses the line that time by with a 21.2. Still 0.5 of a second. That's all that separates them. Here's Jared Tebow right here, the red, white, and blue Techno RC buggy. Tebow with a clear track ahead of him now.
Yeah, that's exactly what he wants, man. He loves that. And we heard these guys talk about looking out of the peripheral to see where the other competitors are. He knows right now he's got nothing but clean track in front of him. Try to hit the marks. Gets up on the bike there, loses a little bit. Does have some pressure rolling up behind him now.
And Ken, an interesting thing here is Ryan was talking about how the tracks have changed over the years. You look at your top 3 drivers, Jared Tebow, Ryan Lutz, Ryan Mayfield. These are all veteran pro drivers. I mean, these guys have been doing this for years and years. And this track is more like it used to be 10, 15 years ago than it is nowadays with the high grip tracks and things like that. And I think you're going to see these guys really excel on this kind of track.
Great perspective, Mike. Glad you can bring that to the table. That is certainly good to know, especially for us novice. I mean, I would look at this and think these are typical conditions as the clock has wound down. Final laps have been completed. Right now, Ryan Lutz up top. Looks like he's going to hang on here as he steps back up, steals it away from Jared Tebow. What a great battle here. 23.804.56 to a 23.805.39, a 23.809, and a 23.812 for Mayfield. And Pavitas and Cole Ogden rounds out your top 5. Exciting session right there.
Wow, what a last lap for Ryan Lutz. Fastest lap of the race on the last lap. That's very rare to see that happen. And Lutz pulls it off with a 20.4, and that gives him the overall TQ here for Open E-buggy.
And it looks like Scotty is standing down there with the man, Ryan Lutz. Congratulations to him. Scotty, it's all yours.
The race is completed.
All right, thank you very much, Ken. That was a solid run. Hot lap of the race on the last lap.
Yeah, I needed that. My first 2 weren't good, so I needed that one.
Everything, the whole package has been looking strong this weekend. Any changes since the last time we chatted?
Yeah, I have been struggling a little bit in E-buggy. My rear is a little loose on it. I really wish I had my lightweight setup. I didn't bring it. I didn't think the track would be smaller, and it would have been awesome here. But been a little loose in the rear. For that run, I actually saw that I had a broken front shock tower before the run. We have 2 different height shock towers. I had to go to the short one because I didn't have another long one. So I had to change shocks and tower really quick, and got it to work, and it worked well. So.
Yeah, I would definitely say it worked. Are you ready for your last round of the invite?
Ready for Nitro. Let's do it.
All right, best of luck.
Thank you.
All right. Ryan Lutz running strong in that Kyo show this weekend.
So cool once again. And Mike has dropped out here once again, but here in the different size shock towers, again, more adjustability inside of these cars. It is absolutely endless.
It is wild. It can be as in-depth and complicated as you want to make it, or, like we've talked about, as simple and easy as you want to make it. There's a broad range there for these guys, but definitely at their level, I mean, they're changing everything from they'll go as far as actually drilling extra holes in the shock tower manually themselves, measuring them out to get a different angle on the shocks and the A-arms and things like that. So it's a wild combination of things you could do, and I think Ryan Lutz had it figured out on that.
Yeah, he did a great job. Okay, we have 2 yet to go here in qualifying 3, the 3rd and final round. We have Sportsman E-buggy coming up, and of course you don't want to miss the final 30-lap contest for the Invitational class. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back.
Upgrading. It's what we do. So upgrading is what we did. Introducing the IQ equipment lineup powered by HMM. Designed for the most adventurous side-by-sides in the world, IQ equipment has the strength to tackle the off-road head-on. Bolt-on, American-manufactured steel, engineered to increase strength, durability, and protection, so you're equipped to handle the most extreme performance. When you're ripping through the desert at full throttle, or tearing through some of the most brutal terrain in the world, you're going to need equipment that keeps you moving at a high level. Because when you have the performance and you have the protection, you then have the confidence to actively pursue your passions just as freedom was intended to be. HMF, equipped to perform.
We are wrapping things up here. I shouldn't say wrapping things up, winding things down. We have 2 motos yet to go here, if you will. The Sportsman E-buggy category coming up here for the 3rd and final qualifying session. And then, of course, that is a time session. Then we will have our final invitational qualifying session. That will be a 30-lap contest run as a proper race. So you don't want to miss that with the best in the world going at it here. And, of course, that will line them up for their 3rd and final A-main that will happen tomorrow. So exciting stuff still yet to come here at MidAmerica Outdoors in Jay, Oklahoma. Thanks for watching the RC Racing at Visions Off-Road presented by A-Main Hobbies. We want to thank our sponsors here as well that have helped us out. Along with A-Main Hobbies is ProTech RC, J Concepts, and VP Racing Fuels. Special thank you to all of them. A little shot at some of the action going on up there on the big car track here at MidAmerica Outdoors. There's a look at our track and all the drivers that you talked about underneath the shade. It's still warm up there, but as you can see, some lighting and get these guys a little bit of shade, get them out of the sun. It is brutal out here today in terms of heat. Fortunately, the humidity relatively low. It could be brutal here. It could be way worse for sure, but we are talking about the better part of 100 degrees out here for these guys that have been out here in it all day long.
Yeah, they have definitely got their work cut out for them with just the conditions of the track and the weather for sure, not to mention the actual racing itself. And that look that we took there back on the big track, just a very small sliver of how many people are actually in this park this weekend and how many different things are going on. It's beyond belief, and I got to say, RC race or not, this is a place that you want to come to.
Oh, no doubt. I was looking for a friend of mine who's racing one of the side-by-sides here. Wanted to go by and say hello, and if you go, it took me forever for starters to try and find them because the place is massive. But as you go wandering around in the back, there are $250,000 motorhomes and trailers everywhere, $1 million Prevos sitting out there in the back. I mean, there's some players that come out here and bring the best of the best, and we've got the best of the best when it comes to RC racing here, including world champions. So we fit right in here at this event, and it's pretty cool. Brandon Rohde, the man behind putting this together, we appreciate everything that he's done, but they were speaking to him about timing and scoring, and he said, hey, while we're at it, I've got this option here for you guys. And of course the promoters here at the racetrack said, man, that would be a great fit. We'd love to have you come out here. So those two powers to be got together and put together this event, and we're really excited to bring it to the masses. Novices here as we watch the sportsmen to world champions, something for everybody. Big money on the table, something they typically don't do in this form of motorsport. And, of course, we're also going to shoot this thing for TV and see if we can't get these guys and gals a little more exposure.
Yeah, it's just a fantastic weekend all the way around for I think off-road in general, but especially the RC community. I think this is a huge opportunity and a huge opportunity for all of these drivers to be a part of it. And I think this is probably going to be something that happens for many years to come here at MidAmerica. At least I hope so. And I think it's just going to continue to grow from here. As it, taking a detour there into the A main fence.
Car has a mind of its own.
Yeah.
That's the kind of car I own right there, man.
Ryan,
The things despite what I tell them to do and want them to do, they do what they want to do.
Ryan Lust there to save the day. They got those auto driving taxis now there in Vegas. That's what an auto driver for one of these. That's what we need.
That's what I need. Yep, that's exactly the kind of RC car that I need. Autonomous, right? Autonomous RC car, and I got a shot. As we take a look at Brian Johnson here, sitting currently P3.
Ooh.
A little contact there. Pace of 19.815, 19.8 flat is what it takes to be in second, and 20.815 for Dylan Bontrager, currently up top.
Yeah, Dylan has had a fantastic weekend here in the sportsman class. He qualified first in Q1, he qualified first in Q2, and now he's trying to do it again here in Q3 for Sportsman E-buggy. So a fantastic weekend for him. Taylor Janda, he had a little bit of a rough time in Q2, I do believe, but he is back at it here for the third and final round of qualifying for Sportsman E-buggy, sitting in that number 2 spot, 7.7 seconds back from your race leader.
And so I would think that some of the advice that the pros would give to the sportsman guys here is slow down until you have absolute control of the car. Just put together good, clean laps, and then the speed will eventually come.
Yeah, there's multiple of these drivers, very similar to kind of like the motocross industry. A lot of these pro drivers will put on like driving clinics and things like that for these drivers to take their classes and kind of teach them the ropes and things like that. And I think that's the number one thing that you hear a lot of these top drivers is don't worry about going fast. Worry more about to start out with making laps without crashing. Once you start making consistent laps and not crashing, then you can start worrying about trying to go faster and keeping the car on four wheels at the same time.
Yeah, control of the car for sure. As we watch Taylor Janda here, I think would be critical. Being able to manipulate the car the way you want it to, predictability, all of those things. And once you get that, the confidence is going to build, and you'll naturally pick up the speed. Easy to say.
Right, we're sitting here, yep, exactly.
I don't know what the problem is. I mean, we just told him how to do it.
Well, Taylor Janda trying to work his way through a little bit of traffic here as he is in that number 3 spot. Kenneth Drake in the 2 spot just ahead of him there. 1.1 seconds between those two. Dylan, though, already out to a 10-second lead here in Sportsman E-buggy.
Kick the back end way up in the air, and some of that might be the style of driving. If you drive off the jump full throttle, it's going to probably act a little more normal versus nose up. Of course, so much can be done in the air, and somebody cleared the step up there. Unfortunately, I think also endoed in the process.
They cleared it, and they went out of sight forever. We never saw them again.
Eliminated a couple of turns, could have shaved some real time off that lap.
Yep. Well, 2:45 left to go here. This one, Dylan Bontrager out front, leading the way. Brian Johnson in second. Kenneth Drake in third. Janda in fourth. Womack, Collins, and Lamb rounding out your field here so far.
And Dylan Bontrager doing a good job as you watch that car. And it's nice to see the progression, right? I mean, you can see the control coming along, the confidence building inside of the driver. Again, just constantly doing the same thing again and again and again and building that confidence.
Well, Dylan definitely, he's got that car working good. If you look at his fastest lap compared to the rest of the field, he's at 22.9. The next closest is a 23.7 by Billy Womack in the number 5 spot. So he's almost, his fast lap anyway, is almost a full second faster than Billy Womack. But if you mentioned multiple times, fast lap doesn't mean a whole lot if you turn a 22 one lap and then a 48 the next lap. So you got to throw some consistency in there as well. But I think Dylan's got a good combination of both going, and he's looking for another round TQ.
Nice job of dodging the traffic out there as well, something else you need to be capable of doing.
This is going to be Kenneth Drake in that number 2 spot. You talked about him the last round, putting in some solid laps towards the end of the race. And
He really did, he stepped up, right?
Worked his way to the front.
He was right there, right? And you know what? He's going to be right there again. Just a couple of tenths off of Bontrager. Bontrager's laid down a 22.98 to a 23.37. So again, about 0.4 of a second for Drake off of Dillon.
Yeah, and Drake's right now, he's just trying to get by traffic, which is going to slow him up just a little bit here. Oh, makes a mistake on the backside.
And how quickly it compounds itself, right? I mean, you make one mistake and then it gets in your head and you're trying to gather it back up, and it affects the whole rest of the lap.
Absolutely. That's a lot of racers' biggest thing, including myself. You get on the track and you crash, and then you're trying to make up time from that crash, which leads you to push too hard and crash again, and then you're double trying to make up time, and it's kind of a never-ending snowball. You just got to wipe it out of your brain, get back kind of in the groove, and do what you do.
Yeah, the pressure builds, and finally you say, you know what? Clearly that's not going to happen. It's ruined now. Okay,
yep.
Let's just settle down and start again.
30 seconds left here in this one as we get set to finish up Sportsman E-buggy. Our invite drivers coming up next for their final showing here today. Kenneth Drake on the backside of the track there. Oh, rolls it over back on his wheels. Whoa! There that kicker.
One more time.
Yeah.
Almost back on the wheels. A little help from one of our marshals. Nice lap right there as we go back and take another look at Dillon.
And Dillon is doing just like what you were talking about. Dillon, although he does have fast lap, if you watch him, he's not trying to push it too hard. He's not driving out of control. He's driving within his means, and he just knows, well, I spoke too soon.
Well, I mean, he's sneaking up on it, right? I mean,
yeah,
he didn't go out there and try to get it all at once. He just picks away at it.
And it looks like that is going to do it there. That was Dillon's last lap. So Dillon, once again, he goes 3 for 3 here at Sportsman E-buggy. Taking that one at 20 at an 8:11. Brian Johnson coming around for that number 2 spot.
And if you're going to put your money on somebody, I think you got to do it to the guy that had the clean sweep here today in the qualifiers, as he will enter that race tomorrow and that A-main race tomorrow, and certainly on paper has the best shot at winning this thing.
Now what he's got to do is convert that from Sportsman E-buggy into the Invite Nitro buggy, sweep all those mains here in a few years when he gets a little better, and then take home that extra $5,000.
Yeah, and I was looking at the lap time and the pace. He's at a 28:11, and if you look at the E-buggies, they're at a 23 lap pace. So he has a lot of work to do yet, but I mean he's right there on the cusp of stepping up at the bottom of that open class.
Absolutely.
Let's get it over to Scotty.
All right, thanks. We are here with Dillon again, former real drag racer, been racing only 8 months, and 3 rounds TQ in a Sportsman. That's a pretty good day.
Yes, sir. Thank you. It was just same as everything else, just trying to have fun and not crash. We made a few changes for that run to see if we could get any better, and it seemed like we went the other way, but we made it work somehow.
Going back to what you had for tomorrow?
I think so. It seemed to work a little better than that did, so we're going to go back to what we know works and hopefully have a good day tomorrow.
All right, well, today was a good one. Hope the best of you tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, Dillon, 3 rounds of TQ. That's a pretty good day. Back to you guys.
Yeah, great day. Got to be very, very proud of that. So, once again, we've got a lot of racing action coming your way as you take a look at what just took place. But the Invite drivers are coming up next. It's their 3rd and final qualifying moto. The big boys are ready to rock. Or do we have one more Sportsman class?
No, we're headed right into the big guys.
Yeah, we're headed right into the big dogs. That's exactly right. So stay with us. One more 30-lap qualifying event. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a real race, and you don't want to miss it. The best in the world are ready to get it done. And we welcome you back here to MidAmerica Outdoors, Jay, Oklahoma. One event yet to go. There's a little action up there as they were doing some drag racing up the hill.
Ken, I think they need one of our corner marshals over there to help them out.
Yeah, let me see them turn that one back over and get it back on the course. Yeah, a lot of action over there, a lot of fans over there keeping an eye on that. And, of course, this is us over here. Welcome back to the RC Racing at Visions Off-Road presented by A-Main Hobbies. The drivers loading up here, the best in the world about to line up out here. They'll give them a couple of quick laps, and then they've already chalked off or marked off the starting positions for them. As we'll get them out here for their third and final qualifier. This will determine how they start their third and final A-Main tomorrow. A lot of money on the line. I think it's worth recapping here once again what that is all about as we bring this invitational class up here. It is $1,500 to win each A-Main tomorrow. It's kind of like a triple header, 3 short races. Be loaded with a lot of excitement for sure. Much like the Supercross triple headers that you see out there, but $1,500 to win each one of those A-Mains. It is $5,000 to win the overall. Lowest score will win the overall. If for some reason we have a driver that is able to sweep all 3, it's a bonus $5,000. Total $14,500 is available there to the winner. Of course, we already have 4 people that have bumped up from the open category, and each one of those grabbed a check for $1,000 as well. And this will be the first time we see the full field of 15.
Yeah, full field right here. 15 cars on the track. This is going to be a little preview of what we're going to see tomorrow and what these guys are going to have to deal with, chasing down the big money in all the main events. And I got to be honest with you, it seems like a far reach for a lot of these guys, but there's a number of drivers in this one that I think could very well sweep all 3 tomorrow.
All right, we had a chance to spend some time with a man from Lake Forest, California. He made quite a trip to get over here to Oklahoma. Let's learn a little bit more about Spencer Rivkin.
My name is Spencer Rivkin. I'm from Surprise, Arizona, born and raised. I mean, this is definitely a full-time job for me, but I think what keeps me motivated and going is that it's a hobby. This is my happy place. I don't necessarily take a lot of stress from it. I want to be here. I want to do the best I can with what I got, and that's definitely how I've been keeping going. Honestly, coming to this event, there's been a lot of talk of how the money's being distributed among the winners, and I don't even know what, if you do win, I don't even know what you get. I don't even know what top 3 gets. I don't even know if top 3, if only first place gets the money or not. So honestly, the bonus is just obviously icing on the cake, and I don't do this to win. For this race, it's not really about the money. It's to have more races like this is what it's all about. Yeah, I guess I'll collect a check and be like a Happy Gilmore style, put it on the shelf, and be pretty special. But overall, I hope mostly that we get a lot of spectators in the next couple of days coming, and see some kids and some families come out here and change their lives for good. You know, I think we're all pretty humbled and honored to have an event like this. I can't really speak enough volume of what it really means, but the fact that there's tens of thousands of spectators out there camping, and the fact that we even have this opportunity, and the connections that Brandon from Live RC and his crew have to put this on, I'm truly thankful. This is something that I've really never seen happening. A little bit more on a, I never thought it could be more mainstream. Obviously, we all hoped and dream of it being that way, but yeah, this is pretty awesome, and I'm so thankful to be a part of a hobby that truly puts a lot of passion and heart into this. So.
And great to have Spencer out here. Obviously, a great attitude towards what's happening here, and excited to be here. Currently ranked 11th is what I show. 17 events this year, a couple of podiums, and 11 top 5s. A very, very solid player as we take a look at him. I'd said from California. I said Lake Forest, California. He said Surprise, Arizona. They have Lake Forest, California up here as well. Surprise, Arizona, by the way, had a fabulous off-road track there that the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series used to go to, and it had a brutal rhythm section in the middle of it as well. So fond memories of racing there. And another player inside of this field is this guy.
Well, and you're talking about these two guys. These two guys, they not only used to be former teammates, but they're also good friends off the track, and they train a lot. But the track you're talking about, just behind that, used to be what was called the Fear Farm RC, and that was where Joey used to hold his Dirt Nitro Challenge, right behind the off-road truck track there in Surprise.
So, of course, Ryan Mayfield also popped up there towards the end. A quick look at him, and Ryan Mayfield winning the first moto out here, the first qualifier, I should say, of the day, and finished up, I want to say, possibly third in the second one. And as we documented before, they pulled a letter, if you will. They pulled a pill, which indicated where they would start in their 3 qualifiers here today to give everybody a chance to start in the front, middle, and the rear to try and make it as fair as possible, because where you finish up here in your qualifier is where you're going to start in your A main 1, 2, and 3 as well. So a great way of doing it. I love the format. It's going to be very exciting. We saw some incredibly good racing here out of the first 2 Qs.
Yeah, this is going to be an exciting one as well. The only downfall for the competition is your round 2 winner, your top qualifier in Invite Nitro buggy, was Ryan Lutz, and he's starting in that number 1 spot. So he already is starting out front. He's going to have a clear track ahead of him. If Ryan can get a few clean laps, I got a feeling he could very easily stretch out and take another round win. But as you mentioned, we can't count out some of the guys like Ryan Mayfield, who's starting 4th, Ty Tessman starting 5th, Jared Tebow starting 6th. Any one of these drivers has what it takes to run up front, and they've proved that this weekend.
And you know what? He had to earn it. He was one of those cars, 3 of the top 4, as I recall, all started their race, that second qualifier, in 10th or deeper in the field. Second place started off in 5th, but they all earned their way up through there. They had to pass some really good cars, and hats off to Lutz to do what he did, and now the letter that he drew allows him to start up in the front here in this 3rd Q, which means at some point in time he started deep, and certainly did so in the second qualifier.
You're absolutely right. And there you see Doug Hooks and Ryan Lutz's mechanics. Lutz's mechanic tuned on the engine just a little bit right before the start of this one. Doug Hooks, the father of Tyler Hooks, pitting for him. He was adjusting the preload, changing the ride height just a little bit on the fly. Here we see Cole Ogden. Poor Cole Ogden is starting 15th in this one.
But he started up in the front of the very first one.
He did.
And led the race for a long time, and unfortunately a slow pit stop, I think, really cost him. Tebow in there as well, and we also see Ty Tessman, of course, the players, and it looks like they are doing a little balancing act. There you go, sexy leg up there getting her done. Got his sunshade on. All right, now tells the mechanics, hey, man, we're getting ready to go here, and I'll tell them to put it down, and as soon as they do that, it is go time. 30 laps in distance here, ladies and gentlemen. The 3rd and final qualifier for the Invitational class. Looking forward to this one.
These drivers getting set to go here. You can see arms up, cars are down and quiet, and we are off and underway. The final race of today, a 30-lap race. Who will come out on top of this one and start first? Oh, wow, carnage already right off the backside of the track. Oh, something laying out in the middle of the racetrack.
I agree, some debris there.
Wow.
Coming into turn number 1. We'll see if one of the marshals can grab that once the field gets clear of it. And, of course, they do skip that very first turn here on the opening lap. Now they'll run that 180.
And what's happening right now is what I had possibly thought would be an issue for the competition. Ryan Lutz, he got off to a clean start, and as you can see, he's already putting a little bit of gap. But look at this, Ty Tessman all the way up into the number 2 spot from 5th, only 2 laps into this one. Tyler Hooks still in that number 3 spot here. We got Spencer Ripken in 4th, and Jared Tebow from 6th on the grid up into the number 5 spot.
So the 4 that were able to bump up out of the open category, hats off to them. Fee-long win, Tyler Hooks and Caden Fuller along with Ethan Mechanic. They are all inside of the field here. We'll find out how things shake down for those guys as well out here playing with the big dogs. But, yeah, it looks like Ryan Lutz is going to have some company here really quickly.
Well, talking about fee-long win, it does not look like he was able to start this race. So hopefully everything is good there, and he'll be back at it tomorrow. As he
struggled in the first qualifier as well, so he's going to have a long day tomorrow on those A-mains.
He is indeed, and hopefully they get all that sorted out as he has a well-deserved spot in the invite. Here we're looking at Tyler Hooks in that number 3 spot, trying to chase down Ty Tessman, the X-Ray driver, in the number 2 spot.
Settling in nicely there, Tyler Hooks, one of those bumping up out of the open Nitro category, currently sitting in 3rd. Great effort for him so far. Ryan Pavdivas.
Looks like Ripken in the number 5 spot here in this one. Ryan Lutz, meanwhile, starting to stretch his lead back out just a little bit here. Tessman had closed the gap up on him, and now Lutz trying to stretch it back out here.
Pavitas, I apologize there for butchering the last name for just a moment, but Pavitas with the quickest lap so far early on in this race, a 20.72. Ripken right behind him, and then Tebow. Lutz still out front. Keep an eye here on Ty Tessman. We'll keep an eye and see how he's doing here. He's lost a little bit of gap there on our leader and Lutz. You see Lutz up there trying to put some more gap between them.
Yeah, it looks like we're looking at Ryan Lutz here, the white, pink, and blue. He's got Ty Tessman not too far back from him. Oh, Tessman, a nice
I think he
slide.
went for that step up right there. He almost got it.
Bumped the inside tube just a bit there. That's going to drop him back a little bit as they head back up the uphill. Back around on the right-hand side. Tessman is really pushing it here. Tyler Hooks still holding strong in the number 3 spot. A great run for Tyler and Ryan. Ryan Pavitas started 13th on the grid, and Cole Ogden started 15th. They are now sitting 4th and 5th.
Right,
no. That was Ryan Lutz. That was your race leader, Ryan Lutz. He has rolled over, and I do believe it looked like he may have flamed out. Ryan Lutz may be out of this race.
And how quickly it can change. You start off in the first position thinking you've got a great opportunity. He scrapped his way up from the back in the second qualifier. Starts off in a great position here. If, in fact, he did flame out, will be at the back of the pack in this third A main tomorrow.
Yeah, it looks like the pit crew trying to get him back going as quickly as possible, but at this point with 21 laps left to go, there's no chance of Ryan Lutz making his way back to the front, so he's just got to salvage whatever he can to try and get as good a starting spot as possible. There you see Ty Tessman inherits the lead now, backing it into that corner. Tyler Hooks and Ryan Pavitas, I tell you what, and Cole Ogden, all of those drivers, my hat is off to him as Hooks is holding strong. He
How
was
about that?
A bump-up driver into the invite. He did not start out in the invite class. He bumped out of the open class in round 2. And here's Tyler Hooks right here, and he is just looking phenomenal right now.
We'll keep an eye on Mayfield as well, who's back there in the 5th position, but he's one of those sly dogs that just keeps picking away at it. It wouldn't surprise me to see him end up inside of the top 3 here again.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan Mayfield, there could be 10 seconds left on the clock, and somehow Ryan will figure out a way to go from 5th to 1st. If it's at all possible, he'll make it happen, that's for sure.
Already a third of the way through this one with 12 laps complete by our leaders. 30-lap event. Again, keeping an eye on our leader here, Ty Tessman. A little bit of breathing room right now. This is Tyler.
Hooks working his way around, coming in for a pit stop now. Hooks is in and on the wall, making a pit stop at the 4:30 mark. So an early pit stop there for Tyler Hooks, an interesting strategy there.
Nicely done, too.
Yes, beautiful pit stop. You saw his dad, Doug Hooks, better known as Thug, with the pit stop there, picking him up and getting him going. The only problem with that pit stop is it kind of put him in a batch of cars here. We'll see how that plays out, but tell you what, Tyler's driving fantastic right now. He's got Ryan Mayfield right there behind him. Mayfield dives to the inside, makes the move on him. Mayfield has not yet made his pit stop.
And Tyler to settle back down here. Certainly has some speed. He tagged the back of Mayfield, and then he got tagged himself.
Yeah, it looked like Hooks tagged the back of Mayfield, checked up to let him have the spot back. And Tessman is in and out of the pits as well. And as he was checking up to let Mayfield have that spot back, it cost him again as somebody else tagged him.
So a little bit of action, a little bit deeper in the pass, a little bit deeper in the pack. Pit time there for Pavitas. An excellent job there at 5.43 seconds. That's a good combo for sure. Mayfield yet to pit. Last time in the second qualifier, Mayfield with the best pit time of a 5 flat. We'll see what happens whenever he comes back in here. He cycles up into second yet without a pit stop. Ty Tessman still leading with a pit stop at 6.4.
Yeah, Tessman right now 3.6 seconds ahead of Ryan Mayfield. You said it. Ryan Mayfield working his way up in there. Again, he still does have that pit stop, but Tyler Hooks in third, Spencer Ripken in fourth, Pavitas in fifth. You see a good shot there of Ty Tessman on the driver's stand, and I got to think the mustache is new for 2022, so I got to think maybe that's helping him out a little bit here.
I'm looking at some of the drivers that are back behind Mayfield, and if the time split is correct here, it looks like Mayfield might fall back into fourth place or so once he makes his pit stop. We'll find out how that shakes out.
Well, 12 laps left to go here in this one as we follow our race leader into the step-up section. He goes, Ryan Mayfield in second. He has now made his pit stop.
There it is.
Look at the pit stop. 4.992.
Ryan Mayfield absolutely getting it done. We'll see where it shakes out here after he completes his out lap. But that was an amazing pit stop, the best we've seen of the day. It looks like he has fallen back into third place. He was in second, but phenomenal job there in the pits.
Yeah, so Tyler Hooks is going to take that number 2 spot back. Mayfield going to be pushing hard to chase him down. They're going to be 2.3 seconds apart. I mean, this is huge for Tyler Hooks right now. He came into the weekend with a brand new car. He's now running the same car that Ryan Mayfield is running right here, a Mugen MBX buggy. And I tell you what, they're looking strong right now. Of course, the X-ray of Ty Tessman in that number 1 spot here.
Well, he'll certainly get the attention of some of the manufacturers. You can come out here and run with these guys and end up staying in the front of the pack. Of course, it'll take more than one race to seal the deal, but if he can come out here and be this respectable in the A-mains tomorrow, it could change his world.
You know, that's something also that, as we're talking about it, I just realized, you look at some of these races you go to, one particular tire brand or manufacturer, or maybe one car manufacturer will really dominate as that car really suits the track. But throughout the day, we've seen almost all of the major brands have great success on the racetrack, which is pretty cool to think. All these cars are pretty even on this racetrack. No one brand seems to have an advantage over another. It's coming down to the drivers.
Pavita still quickest time on the track, down in that 20-second zone. Only one of the drivers accomplished that goal. And look at these guys dealing with the traffic. Nose to tail here.
And I think what just happened right there, Tyler Hooks, I think, went wide to let Mayfield go by. And I don't think he realized he was battling Mayfield for position. So Hooks is dropping back now here in this one. He went wide in that corner and kind of checked up to let Mayfield go. But like I said, I don't think he realized that was for that number 2 position. As Hooks now drops back to the number 4 spot as Pavita sneaks by as well.
So a good battle, and Mayfield doing exactly as we anticipated, just slowly picks his way forward. I don't remember exactly where he finished in that second qualifier, but I want to say inside of the top 3. He won the first one. I mean, he's going to find himself, if he can maintain here, starting off every one of these A-mains up in the front with a shot of winning those. So that's not good for the rest of the field. With that said, there's equally impressive talent that is out here that would love to beat up on him. This is no gimme by any stretch of the imagination.
Yes, that is a deadly combination to put Ryan Mayfield up front in the start of all 3 of those mains, that's for sure. As Ty Tessman leads us out here into this one. Ryan Mayfield in that 2 spot, Pavitas in the 3 spot, Rivkin in the 4, Hooks in the 5. This is Ryan Pavitas right here that we're looking at as Pavitas works his way down the straight onto the front side of the track now.
Great battle here, wrapping this thing up. We are 26 laps into this 30-lap race, just 4 away from completion as Tessman out front. Pavitas now in second, Mayfield third, Rivkin in fourth, and Hooks back in fifth. Ooh. Still a really respectable landing. Yeah, almost landed on top of him. Pavitas, by the way, you mentioned it before, starting off in 13th, now in second.
This is a phenomenal run right here for Ryan Pavitas, and that is Ryan Lutz right there ahead of him. So he's trying to get by Lutz. That's not for position. He's trying to get through lap traffic. I did not see where he made the pass on Mayfield, but that is a big move for Ryan Pavitas to be able to go up into that number 2 spot as they're working their way. Oh, no, that was Lutz. Oh, big crash for Pavitas going upside down.
Oh, my goodness, Pavitas with a spectacular run and then really goes for a ride.
Wow, that may change things up here with only 2 laps left to go in this race. Your race leader, Ty Tessman, working his way back onto the front side of the track now.
Yeah, wrapping things up here. 29 in the books on that final lap.
Here comes Tessman, looking for the checkered flag, and this time by the X-Ray driver, looking for a win here in round 3 of qualifying of the invite. He looks to start first, and he's got it. Ty Tessman, your round 3 winner here in the invite class.
Yeah, exciting battle, and boy, this one really taking an ugly turn for Pavitas right at the very end. Had a spectacular run going. I think there was just 2 laps left in the race. Went for that big ride, and will end up a little bit deeper down on the field. But boy, he put on a great show. Certainly proved that he's able to compete with these guys. Tyler Hooks bumping up out of the open class will end up 6th. Great effort there for him, and like you said, probably gave one away, maybe not realizing what he did, but certainly held his own here inside of this tough category.
Yeah, fantastic driving for all these drivers. Congratulations to all of them. It's going to be a fantastic
And Mayfield, you said it before, wait till the last lap. Somehow Mayfield finds his way back into the top 3. Yep. There he is in second place.
There he is. Like I say, 1 lap to go, and he finds his way up there. Rivkin up there. Tebow's up there. Ryan Pavitas still finishing with a top 5. Fantastic for him. Hooks, Fuller, Denny, Wiggins, Van Dalen, Lutz, Fuller, Ogden, Mechanic, and Feelong win.
And once again, we will get it back up to Scotty. He is with our world champ who just picked up a Q3 win.
All right, thanks, fellas. Appreciate it. We're up here with Ty Tessman. Ty, it's been a pretty good day. You started about mid-pack most of the mains here, the qualifiers, but you're able to get to the front, and patience there behind Lutz at the start paid off.
Yeah, it was definitely, my car is definitely better. Ran the same tires as an E-buggy. Car feels great now. Just starting in front obviously is going to be easier, but it's like it could have just gone just as bad in the first corner because I threaded the needle between two crashed cars that were in front of me on the very first corners. So it's just really about luck and how you get the start. If you don't get a good start, you're literally battling every car. If you can get out in the clean, you don't have to battle at near as many cars because the lappers are pulling over. You only have to worry about the people behind you. So it's definitely easier. You can kind of get in a rhythm and just kind of get in a groove and go around the track without making mistakes. But if you're in the back, it's sure not easy, and it's going to be definitely challenging. And I think whoever comes from the back and gets to the front has definitely earned it and definitely shows their skill, and it's going to be impressive, I think.
Throughout the course of the event so far, we've talked about this being a team effort, the driver and the mechanic. You're old school now, you know, you've been around for a while. You wear the headsets. Some of the other old school guys don't. When you're in traffic, especially on a tight track, is Dad helping you with traffic and let you know if that's for position and such?
Yeah, for sure. He's always up there telling me where I am in how fast I'm going, if I'm going fast enough, if I'm pushing too hard maybe in some corners, and then also where other people are and if they've pitted or not. So it's like another announcer, because the announcer's not always just announcing where you are, but my dad is telling me where I am all the time. So it's really helpful and kind of pace and figure out how hard I have to drive, or maybe if I'm driving too hard in some section I can calm down and improve. So it's definitely a good thing, and then especially if coming in for pits, there's no question, did he call me, did he not call me? It's just you can communicate back and forth super easy. So I know a lot of the guys don't like to use them, but I mean, I didn't really want to start using them at the start either, but I'm glad that they have them, and it's definitely made it a lot easier for us to communicate with each other.
Well, a heck of a day for you today. Get some rest, get things prepped for a good day tomorrow.
Thanks. I just want to thank all my sponsors for all their great support over the many, many years. My family back home, all they've done for me. Been beside me my whole career and for me everywhere I needed them to be. Most importantly, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Well done, partner. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right. The world champ, Ty Tessman, closing it off with a fantastic day. A team effort. Him and his dad, as he said, getting some talk in his ear, a little bit of coaching and stuff like that, where he needs help, where he's got traffic, stuff like that. Just a fantastic job for Ty to round out his day.
Nice job out there, Scotty. I know it's been a hot day. Thanks a lot, bud. We appreciate everything you do. I like what he said there. He used the announcer analogy. I would not use that analogy. I would say what happened is, and what is in the process of happening is, they're introducing spotters into this, which again parlays itself right into big car racing. All the sports car guys and IndyCar guys, they all have spotters. All the NASCAR guys, they all have spotters. And yeah, you have somebody talking in your head, and it's a little bit much whenever you first get the headset on. But once you start processing that information, now you can really focus on that car. You don't have to worry about that peripheral and keeping an eye on some of the other cars. You've got a spotter looking out for you, letting you know somebody's coming up or there's lap traffic ahead, and you can really focus more on your driving abilities. So it's pretty cool to see that the spotters are working their way in, and why not use them when they're standing down there?
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. We saw several of those drivers using those headsets and taking advantage of that. And like you say, it's just another tool for these guys to take it from the best and make it even better.
So it's been a great day out here. Congrats to all of our bump-up drivers who picked up $1,000 along the way. We enjoyed watching all of the qualifying 30-lap races here from the Invitational classes, and, of course, all the qualifying session from our open classes and the sportsmen's as well. It's been a wonderful day. Tomorrow we will do it for real, and we're going to hand out some cold hard cash. We hope you will join us for that. We're here at MidAmerica Outdoors in Jay, Oklahoma. This has been the RC Racing at Visions Off-Road presented by A-Main Hobbies. We'll see you tomorrow, 9:30 Central.